Good afternoon, folks. Jordan here with the Nutty Gnome Homestead. Today is May 26, 2023, and we are out here in the garden doing a little maintenance. So, I had somebody ask in one of the other videos how I keep the weeds down out of my green beans. Well, I showed you guys before that we plant in these raked up, raised, top-dressed rows. And since we plant densely, remember we had 9 green beans per square foot, that since we plant so densely that the beans themselves will actually shade out a lot of the weeds in the competition. Now for everything in between the rows, it's easy just to whack them down or pull them up or whatnot. Any weeds that start up on the rows, we just pluck them out by hand. So I'm going to show you guys what this row looks like before we've even done anything to it. Okay, so this is that 66-foot row of green beans that we triple planted. Some of these are getting ready to start to bloom. These are those contender bush beans. And as you can see, it's relatively weed free. It looks pretty good. Now we do have some weeds here in between the rows, but that's okay. We try not to spray any harsh chemicals here on our homestead. My preferred tool for taking care of these weeds is a manual weed whacker. Cost you about 30 bucks. It's got a 3-foot handle, as you guys can see there. And all you do, get you where you're not in my shadow. So all you do is you take it, and you got your weeds removed. That's how we manage our weeds in between our rows. I could come through here and I could lay down some felt or some cardboard or whatnot, but these weeds growing provide a green manure. We put this organic matter right back into our soil. What you guys saw me cut down was some of our leftover clover from our cover crop that we had in here. And it don't take much effort to do this, guys. And in no time, you can have this entire garden cleaned up. Now, show you some of our beets. They're looking pretty good too. So say for instance, we try not to weed eat up here on top of these rows. But you see this weed right here? Pull it out. That's all we do. Since we've top dressed these with a good quality compost, there's no weeds in it. The weeds that are in here now are the ones that were blown in from the wind since we've put this out here on the garden. So it is real easy, especially this first year, to maintain all of the weeds. Make sure everything's pulled up nice and neat. And here's some more of our green beans. See, there's just a little piece of clover. I'll actually leave the clover. All of these little weeds that we pull up have real shallow roots on them. None of these have any really deep roots. See? And it only takes a couple of minutes to come through here and trim these up, make sure the weeds are not encroaching on the green beans or anything. We do this with our other garden as well. I could lay felt down over top of these rows and burn the holes and plant right through the felt. I just didn't feel like doing that this year. See, even the big pieces of weed don't have much of a root system on them. And in 5 minutes, I'll have this 88-foot row completely weed free. And then I can come back through in between the rows and clean up the rest of the weeds that have grown up in between. Very little maintenance doing it this way, guys. Just the way we like it. I don't have time to mess around and weed the gardens for hours on end. I got too many other things that I can be doing here on the farm. When we pull up these weeds, I lay them right back on top. Like I said, I use them as a green manure, green compost, organic matter, mulch, whatever you want to call it. See this clover right here? And you notice there's a little bit of an angle on this weed whacker. Guys, I cut that down within 2 inches of the soil. I won't have to come back and deal with this for 2 weeks. This is a homestead, it's not Better Homes and Gardens. There's going to be weeds, and that's okay, that's just part of it. I'm not afraid of a couple weeds. If I needed to, I could feed this to my rabbits. Most of which it'll be okay. Now, if you guys will notice, this is serrated. I touch it up once a year with a file, and that's all it takes. No gasoline to mix up for a weed eater. No batteries to charge for electric. And I guarantee you, with proper maintenance, one of these will outlast me. You guys see this row here? It doesn't have anything on it yet. That's okay. Here real soon I'm going to have my pumpkins in this row. These weeds coming up here, I'll get those all terminated. I'm not concerned about them. I'll get those terminated and it won't be a problem. And like I said, it's a homestead, you're going to have a couple weeds. My potatoes are looking good. If you guys remember, we planted 50 pounds of potatoes. Pontiac Red, Kennebec, and Yukon Gold. 2 88-foot rows of potatoes, guys. And I think every one of them came up. A good patch of weeds. Very therapeutic. So, I don't know how your guys' garden's doing this year. Mine's doing pretty good. I've got peppers, jalapeno, cayenne, Big Jim chili peppers, some of which are almost ready to pick. We have cherries. Let me show you guys some of these bush cherries. Hang on a second. Okay, can you guys see this? This is a Nanking bush cherry, and these guys are ready to pick. That cherry is just a little bit smaller than a marble. It does have a little seed in it. But, get it to focus there. Just a little seed. They're sweet. They're not like the cherries you're going to get from the store, guys. But you got to find what grows well on your soil. Unfortunately, we have a high water table here. See, there's some more. They'll just grow right along the stem. Unfortunately, we have a high water table here, which makes it a little difficult to grow cherries. Cherries don't like having wet feet. So, you got to make do with what you can. These Nanking bush cherries, they can handle a little more adverse conditions than other cherries can. We've tried multiple times to get cherries to grow here, and it just doesn't work too well. So, I'm going to take you guys over here and show you some of the other stuff in the garden. We have cabbages heading up real nice. This one there, not quite 3 inches across, 3 inches across or so. Should be ready here in about a month. Look over here. We've got peppers. More peppers. Tomatoes are looking good. See those tomatoes there? I need to come back through here and prune these tomato plants up, and I'll make a video on that here soon. I believe we're going to have a bumper crop of cayenne peppers. And it looks like our jalapenos are doing well too. So, there's really not much going on. A lot of maintenance every day, a lot of upkeep, trying to make sure everything stays watered. We haven't had rain in close to a week and a half. There's no rain in the forecast for the next week or so, it looks like. So I'm just about out of rainwater. Gonna have to start either pumping out of the well or using city water. So somebody asked me about the weeds in the other garden, and I figured I'd go ahead and make a video and show you how we do it. It's a lot easier to show you guys instead of just sit there and ramble on and tell you. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please let me know, either down below or get a hold of me over on Nutty Gnome Homestead on Facebook. But get out there and weed your vegetables, guys. Nobody's gonna do it for you. Get you a weed whacker. It's a lot of fun. Real stress relief too. Till next time, y'all stay safe.